I've been stabbed 17 times.
What has life been like in prison for the last couple of years?
Truthfully, I've done my best to keep my head above water, but mentally, I've gone through trauma that I sometimes even struggle with because I never imagined myself dealing with things that I would have to deal with. I've been stabbed 17 times. I almost lost my life.
If you could say something to Megan Thee Stallion today, what would it be?
I think that I wouldn't say something directly to her. I would like that moment to happen in person. We've both gone through a lot. There's this connotation that like I share this hatred for her, but I don't. I genuinely passed that. I'm at a place of healing in my life. I'm at a place of taking accountability for the things that I did wrong. And when I talk about my case, I don't want it to be taken as me coming at her, because it's not that. I'm just asking for somebody in the system to look at my case and look at the evidence and ask if this was fair.
Okay, Tory Lanez finally speaks up and speaks out and tells his story about what transpired that fateful night and the night where everybody's lives changed. You know what I mean? Now, I believe Tory fully understands and has taken accountability for probably every single mistake he has made. The first mistake is that he should have spoke up at trial. You know what I mean? He should have spoke up at trial, because at the end of the day, one thing I always learned is never allow your life to pass away or be determined by someone else's narrative. And if you don't speak up and tell your truth, it's always going to be judged upon someone else's narrative. And that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? And I definitely see right now Tory's taking accountability for that. The second part is taking accountability for what Megan did. Now, he knows Megan lied. Megan knows Megan lied. But what Tory's doing right now is actually taking accountability, because the truth is that the reason why he was in this boat, the reason why he was in this position, the reason why he was put in this circumstance that pretty much, has the possibility of taking 10 years away from his life if he doesn't get the decision overturned. The reason why, yes, you were dealing with individuals that were unethical, that were liars, that were only cared about themselves, but Tory chose that person. You know what I mean? Out of every single person on the planet, Tory chose that person. And he made that person close enough to him that they could do this kind of damage to him. You know what I mean? At the same time, he's trying to protect individuals that are trying to destroy him. You know what I mean? That's the reason why Tory actually probably kept quiet. You know what I mean? He didn't want to snitch on nobody. He didn't want to put a mother with children in jail. He didn't want to ruin Megan's career. But at the end of the day, nobody cared about him. And he's learning a very important lesson right now. And that's a man, because he's actually taking accountability. He's not sitting here and blaming Megan, He fully said that, listen, I don't hate this woman. I don't hate her. He just wants justice to be served. He just wants somebody in the system to allow him the opportunity for the truth to come up. Now, this is an important lesson for everybody, you know what I mean? Whoever you surround yourself with, you will become. Influence creates behavior. Whether you think it doesn't or it does, influence will always create behavior. And here's the misconception, because a lot of people always think, listen, I have a person beside me. They ain't really the right person or a very good person in my life, but they do not influence him. They do not influence me. Because let's say hypothetically they do your friend does a whole bunch of craziness, but you don't engage in that craziness that they do. doesn't mean you're not being influenced, because just the simple fact that you're standing right beside that person, what you're really saying is that you condone what they're doing. You know? You normalize what they're doing. It's not an issue for you, or else you wouldn't be there, right? That is influence. Influence happens in very minute circumstances. It's not always on a large scale, you know what I mean? It's not always on a large scale, because it's like sometimes the influence is not going to come out until years later when you realize, shoot, when did it go wrong? You don't remember because it was very small increments. Now, hopefully Tory Lanez is able to get justice. But if he doesn't, please understand, every single person, whoever you have standing beside you is who you are. Look around and say to yourself, is the people around me a representation of myself? Because they are. You know what I mean?